Greetings everyone, welcome to Southern New Hampshire University CJ 104. We are in Module 5, Week 5 of this term. We'll go through a quick overview, a couple things I want to share with you here. First are the learning objectives. Let's just take the first one. Identify how errors in decision making can contribute to corruption in the field of criminal justice. You're going to read the material in the text, you'll read the supplemental materials, maybe you'll do some research on your own. You'll come up with these answers. What I would encourage you to do with this one is take a couple moments as you're doing all this and reflect. We don't have a journal in this particular course shell, but basically reflect and say to yourself, gosh, where have I worked? Where do I volunteer? What organizations do I belong to? Where I can find examples of errors in decision making that contribute to corruption. And I say that because they're not necessarily always initially or designed to be corrupt acts. It's the result of that corrupt act that may occur. In most states, the law, the criminal laws, the penal codes, the criminal laws will make a reference to the commission or omission of an act. The commission of an act is you go out and rob a liquor store. Okay, the omission of an act is you don't do something that you're legally obligated to do, and as a result something happens. I don't know. Well, I suppose that one of the more simple, I'm hesitating trying not to make it too complex, I apologize. You're a police officer in the field and you see someone swerving back and forth outside the lines. They have the windows rolled down, they're driving slower than everyone, so you have a pretty good probable cause for a stop for driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. You get to walk up on the car, you can smell alcohol, you see red bloodshot eyes. They fumble to get their driver's license, registration, certificate of insurance. You get them out of the car, and they do okay on field sobriety, and you say to them, look, you're only 3 blocks from your house. Get in the car and get home. Okay, that's an error in decision making. Never in your wildest mind did you think that person would then drive down the street into a bus stop or something, into another car, killing other people, injuring them, that sort of thing. That's what I'm trying to get you to think about rather than just worrying about the assignment. I guess I just feel strongly about this one. Let's look at number 2 there. It says identify that criminal justice leaders encourage ways that they encourage or discourage corrupt behaviors. Maybe, and again, you'll find all of this in the technical sense in the material. Perhaps you've worked for someone wherever you work, and the supervisor, the middle manager, the boss will say, oh, I always have an open door policy. Yeah, the door may be open, but the price you pay coming back out can be brutal. You know, so that how can you encourage or discourage corrupt behaviors? Old example from the National Football League. There was a coach for when we still had the Rams here in Los Angeles, and he would sit down in the lobby of the hotel when the team was on the road, reading a magazine, newspaper, whatever was there. Well, as the players and other coaches, staff members would come out, hey coach, you want to go to dinner with us? No, I'm fine. Hey coach, you want to go to dinner? No, I'm fine. He sat there alone like that because if somebody wanted to talk to him, they could. Okay, there was no stigma to it. Yes, it was out and open in the public, but you could have any reason for stopping and talking to coach, trying to get him to go with us. So that might be a small way. The old management by walking around routine, you know, if you make yourself available to staff, then you'll get to hear what staff has to say. And you don't need to be the world's sharpest meatball or biggest leader. Okay, recognize the moral and ethical responsibilities of criminal justice professionals. That's pretty cut and dried. Explain how the responsibilities of criminal justice professionals impact the decision-making process. We've kind of bantered around in the discussions, and it's a kind of a typical oral board question, I guess. And that is, gee, if the chief of police were driving under the influence, gee, if your city council member was driving under the influence. Those are not really tough decisions. They may seem difficult, and you may call a sergeant to try and pass it off. I think in reality, what it is what it is. And it isn't a matter of doing favors and those kinds of things. So anyway, I hope that helps you a little bit. Let's take a quick look at the overview. All right, here in Module 5, the overview, there are really only a couple, three things that I wanted to, actually three things that I wanted to cover with you here. And that's right here in this middle of the second paragraph where it talks about the stuff that you're going to need for the discussion board. And that's although police officers are allowed to use discretion in the performance of their duty, gross ignorance of law-breaking behavior is called nonfeasance. Applying the law in an illegal or unethical manner is misfeasance. Committing an illegal act are all equally as damaging, is called malfeasance. So okay, let's back up for just a second there and take a look at, although police officers are allowed discretion, here in California in the Penal Code, it's the 4th section of the Penal Code. Paraphrasing, it says that police officers, peace officers, will enforce the law by the spirit of the law and not the letter of the law. Okay, so you have tremendous discretion. Peace officers have tremendous discretion. But gross ignorance of criminal behavior, that you don't recognize the crime that someone is committing and therefore you take no action, is nonfeasance. Okay, your defense can't be, gee, I didn't know. That doesn't work. All right, so applying the law in an illegal or unethical manner is misfeasance. You're stopping people that only because of their color or race, ethnicity, type of car they drive. That's the easiest one, profiling. Okay, you're using the law, applying the law illegally and unethically. You lie in a report. Yeah, the right rear tail light was out, which you brake as you walk back to the car. Or even if it wasn't out, that's what you write in the narrative. And then finally, the straight committing an illegal act would be perhaps brutality, false arrest, those kinds of things. I just wanted to touch base with those because those are the discussion board questions. I hope this helps you a little bit, a little quick review. I have some special feelings about Module 5. Keep the cards and letters coming, and you know I'm always here to help.